I know there's nobody in here, but we're gonna roll with this anyhow. I'm gonna just go ahead and slice this brisket up. Probably put this video up as a short or something and hope somebody sees it. Dow Strong Scorpion. Go ahead and pull the pin out so I can take the knife out of the sheath. Go ahead and set the knife down right here. Yep. Smoke this brisket for about 12 hours. Then let it come down to about 160. Put it in the warming oven at 150 degrees for about another 12 hours. It's at a good temp now. I'm just go ahead and slice into this thing. Pick it up. Put some gloves on. Pick it up. Put it on the cutting board. Slice it up. See what it looks like. Let me go ahead and grab y'all real quick so you can take a look and see what we got going on here. This beautiful brisket. There's a bunch of tallow down there that either I think it leaked over or it might have finally got a hole in the bottom of it. It's inside of a pan. I had it in the warming oven. Now I'm going to go ahead and put y'all back on the stand and get this brisket on here. Got my gloves. These basically unbreakable nitrile gloves. Because this thing's gonna be, there's gonna be so much juices coming off of this thing. I hope it's not overcooked, but we're about to see. Oh, it's still bathing in tallow. Absolutely bathing in tallow. Let some of this tallow drip off. And then just kicked y'all. Didn't mean to kick you. Didn't mean to kick you. All right. I'm gonna leave one glove on, and I'll take the other glove off so I can manipulate this with my knife and give it a cut. See where we're at. if that doesn't catch somebody's attention, still nobody in this live, but we're gonna keep it going and we'll just turn it into a video. This thing is beautiful. Let me lean this stand up just a little bit so you can get more of an overview of it. I mean, that's beautiful. I'm gonna try to lock the stand in right here. Put the knife down for a second. Don't want to cut my fingers off. All right, I can't do that. So I'm just gonna back to where we were. It's not too bad. It's a pretty good view. All right, go ahead and slice this brisket down the middle. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's do some tallow. Let's get some of this tallow dripped on this brisket. Keep it nice and moist. Grab a spoon. Get some of this beautiful tallow. It's already gonna have a lot in it, but this makes it look so good. Well, that way that looks, I know that looks good. All right, we don't need to put any more of that on there. All right, let's get the slicing. Let's see how this looks. Just go ahead and cut a slice out of the flat right now. I'm not even gonna wait. This knife cuts like butter. Try not to break it up too much. All right. Now I'm gonna slide it open. See what she looks like on the inside. It looks good. It looks good. Let's go ahead and grab a slice here. Holds up under its own weight. Let me go ahead and give it a nice close pull look. That nice smoke ring on there. Give it a nice little pull. And this is the flat. This looks good. Let's taste it. Oh, see how beautiful that fat cap is? Perfectly trimmed down. That beautiful bark. This is probably the best brisket I've done so far. And I think every single one will be this quality. Coming to a catering job near you. I don't really want to sell plates, it's too much in it. But I will cater parties, barbecues, and this is just a brisket. Wait until you see the ribs, the turkey, salmon. That's great. This is unbelievable. And this is just a flat. When I get into that point, it's going to be, whew, I mean, perfectly rendered. All of the fat in the middle, nice and soft. Some people cut it out, some people don't eat it. I try not to eat too much of it because it is already a little fatty, but I'm getting that meat off of there. Well, when it comes to this bark side, you can't skip that. Perfectly rendered. I mean, that's money. That's beautiful. I wish somebody was looking at this. But the good thing is I've seen them replay those lives over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and finish slicing this brisket, get it put back up in this foil, and get it put away. All right, I'll take a little piece of the burnt end off. I left a little too much fat there. Okay, we still got this part. Look at that. I mean, if you don't see how juicy this is and perfectly tender, this is beautiful. The amount of smoke in that. All right. Now, I'm gonna get it sliced up. These are gonna be my pieces. I'm gonna keep them right here in the tallow. Look at this one. And the rest, I'll sell to whoever's willing to pay. Slide it back together. I like to keep it together. It's just easier to slice that way. To the very tip, nice and juicy. Of course, I'll save this piece for myself also. Then what I'll do is I'll take it where I just slice it with the knife. Actually, you know what? Let me not try to be greedy and do this in two pieces. Then I'll pick it up, put it back down in its home. Do the same with these pieces here. See, I didn't get all the way down in here. Let me go ahead and try to make sure all of these slices are all the way down. Might even do it in more than two pieces. I just don't want to break them. And then we'll go ahead and slice the point. All these little scraps are good. I'll do the slices slightly thicker than we did that one. Look at that. Look at that. That is so beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Still nobody in here. This is crazy. I hope I can repost this video on this live feed like everybody else has been doing. Because I can't see why somebody wouldn't watch this for a living. This is awesome. Let me go ahead and slide this piece a little bit closer so we can get a nice up close view of this next slice. Monster slice. Monster slice. You go ahead and stand this thing back up. See if I can get one more good slice out of it. It's leaning so much, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around and try to slice it this way. I'm gonna just treat this chunk like it was the same as the burnt ends because this slice didn't come out so well. It's a little crispy on the edge here. Go ahead and pick this slice up or what's left of it. was talking to my friend, and I told him, hey, some of the brisket gets turned into brisket sandwiches. Those are the little chunkies, the little pieces that kind of fall off. While you're attempting to make good slices, those good slices aren't going to happen every time. So, with whoever gets brisket, just know some of these slices, hey, they're so tender, they are really falling apart, and it's hard to slice it out. But no, you'll get all your brisket, except for the burnt ends, because that's always the chef's. Or in this case, the pit masters. There you go. That is all of the chopped brisket. I'm gonna gather that up, put it in a bowl, along with my pieces and some of these pieces. Not sure how much of this is fat. How far we need to go back. These pieces still look good. A little crispy on the outside, but they still look good. That'll probably get chopped up too. All these chunks. Some of these pieces with these big pockets, there's no point in even keeping that in there. That's way too much fat. I'm just going to slice that out now. That's a good piece of brisket. This is a good corner. I don't want to take all of the. I don't want to take all of the bark off. So I'll just slice this nice little piece of fat out of it. That'll go in the trash. Now here you go. You got this nice piece with a little flappy piece of bark. It's a good piece of brisket right there. Same thing with all of these other pieces. The fat in between here was really thick. Look at that. It got a good render, but it just did not. It just, it's too thick. That's why a lot of people just separate their flat from their point. I don't do that. Cook the whole thing. It helps protect it. It helps keep the meat juicy, and then it can just come and cut it off at the end. And that's a nice thick piece of fat right there. Don't want to eat that. It's a good piece. This is a good piece. That's a good piece. This is all for a bowl. These pieces of fat are going away. Same thing here. I'm gonna cut the fat out. It's a good piece. Still got a little bit of bark. Cut that piece of fat out. Cut this piece of fat out. Let's throw a big piece of fat in here. Okay, well, that's a nice little fatty piece if somebody wants to eat a little fatty piece. There it is. I got it. I got it. I got it. It's out. It's a good piece of brisket right there. And I left the bark after I cut out that piece of fat. That is going to be amazing. Same thing with that. Brisket, fat chunk cut out. Again, bark, fat chunk cut out. A nice piece of brisket. Big chunky piece of fat. Still no one. Yeah, this is crazy. So this time, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut this piece off here. So now that's the top piece with a nice piece of fat. And I'm gonna take the fat out and keep that bark on the bottom piece. It's a great piece of brisket there. Pick up the fat and throw it away. Now we got all of this brisket. This is nice and sliced up. This is nice and chunked up. Let me show you the slices back in its tallow field. I'm just gonna pick the stand up and walk it over there real quick. There's a box that my knife came in. And here we go. It's the brisket. Last thing I'm gonna do is spoon a little bit of oil back over it, let it cool down a little bit more, and then get it in the fridge so it can cool off and rest. This tallow I'll break up around it, and then when I reheat it, each piece will have a little bit of tallow. All those little pieces, like I said, will go to like a brisket sandwich, and some of these might get chopped up into that. But put this away in a separate container. This is going to be for me and whoever else gets lucky enough to have a piece of this. But been out here for 37 minutes. with no takers, zero takers. But I'm gonna cut this into a bunch of shorts, and hopefully one person sees this and wants me to make them a brisket. I guess that's the whole goal, right? My mind traveling all over the place, thinking about 100 things at a time. Smoking brisket, cooking really calms me down, but it also locks me in. Um, I hope to see somebody in here at some point, someday, that would love to have a piece of this brisket. Thanks.